In 1970, young Henry sings with his mother Annette as they drive home. Suddenly, a runaway truck approaches and Annette tries to brake, but the slippery road causes a collision. Just before impact, Henry notices his own disappearance. He reappears at home, witnessing his parents reading to him. As he confused, Henry jumps back to the crash scene just as his mom's car explodes. A man claiming to be a future version of Henry explains the time travel phenomenon. Older Henry reassures the younger one, who remains bewildered. Henry returns to the future, appearing in a library without clothes. The routine involves finding a tire in each time jump. While working at the library, Claire recognizes him, referring to encounters from her childhood. Intrigued, Henry agrees to dinner despite his disappearing episodes. Preparing for the date, Henry vanishes and is mistakenly arrested for shoplifting. He reappears to meet Claire, who reveals their past encounters in a meadow. Claire advises against drinking, citing a future doctor named Kendrick. Confused, Henry learns Claire has harbored feelings for him. After dinner, Claire follows Henry home, reminiscing about their first meeting in a meadow. There, she heard something in the bushes while playing with her toys. Soon, Claire identifies the mysterious visitor as Henry, who urgently requests her blanket. Skeptical, Claire hands it over, prompting Henry to reveal his time-traveling origin. Despite Henry's knowledge about her, Claire doubts him, prompting him to promise a vanishing act. Intrigued, Claire learns about Henry's temporal travels during their park visit. Henry confesses the uncontrollable nature of his ability, expressing the anticipation of each return. Claire romanticizes the time travel, emphasizing the chance to see loved ones again. Henry, however, admits failed attempts to save his mother. Later, Claire introduces Henry to her roommate, Carisse, and Gomez, Carisse's boyfriend. Gomez questions Henry's reserved demeanor, leading Henry to explore Claire's room and read her diary, seeking insight into their future relationship. A street altercation occurs as Henry, clad in mismatched clothes, confronts a thug. Gomez witnesses the scene and follows Henry, warning him to stay away from Claire. Henry, revealing his time travel secret, leaves Gomez bewildered upon disappearing. The next day, Gomez approaches Claire, expressing concerns about Henry, but she reveals her awareness and unwavering commitment to him. Meanwhile, Henry revisits the past, meeting his mother on a train and seeking approval for his love for Claire. Henry then visits his father, Richard, seeking Annette's ring for the impending proposal. Initially skeptical, Richard relents, reflecting on the absence of Henry's late mother. Henry proposes to Claire, who joyfully accepts, leading to wedding preparations. Days before the wedding, Henry meets Claire's parents, Lucille and Philip. Philip, practicing for a hunting trip, quizzes Henry on his readiness for marriage. The conversation ends with Philip questioning Henry's hunting skills. Philip expresses a desire to teach Henry hunting, who admits he has never tried it. The wedding preparations proceed smoothly until Henry disappears while getting ready with Gomez. Gomez panics, but Henry returns, now aged with gray hair. Henry and Claire joyfully marry, but on their wedding night, Henry vanishes, finding himself in the past with a younger Claire. She offers him food, expressing resentment towards her father. Young Claire predicts her parents' divorce, but Henry assures her they won't. Curious about marriage, Claire becomes jealous when Henry mentions his wife. Years later, Henry's frequent disappearances strain their relationship. After a 2-week absence, Claire, unhappy, heads to work, citing their small living space. Henry apologizes and after work takes her to a lottery shop. His ticket wins $5 million, but Claire suspects cheating. Despite doubts, they embrace the fortune, seeking a bigger home. Adrian struggles to find the right house until he recognizes their future home. Gomez and Carisse visit, witnessing a strange event. The body of future Henry appears, shot, then disappears. Claire questions Henry about his mortality, fearing his unseen old age. She speculates about a cure, but Henry surprises her with the news of her pregnancy. Henry is overjoyed by Claire's unexpected pregnancy. The next day, he searches for a genetic expert named Kendrick, hoping for insight into his time-traveling condition. Henry explains his genetic anomaly, asserting that future Kendrick assisted him. However, Kendrick dismisses it as a prank, angering Henry. Meanwhile, Claire experiences severe stomach pain and loses the baby while at a restaurant. Concerned, Henry returns to Kendrick, speculating that the baby might have inherited the time-traveling ability. Kendrick initially doubts Henry, but agrees to conduct tests. During testing, Henry vanishes, validating his claims. Weeks later, Kendrick reveals that Henry's disappearances emit strong electromagnetic energy. While Claire is pregnant again, Kendrick suggests drugs to mitigate the condition's impact on the fetus, requiring close monitoring. Tragedy strikes when Claire discovers blood on her bed, indicating another miscarriage. Desperate for a solution, Henry opts for surgery to prevent future pregnancies, hoping to spare Claire further pain. Returning home after the surgery, Henry shares his guilt with Claire, who reacts angrily. Henry explains his desire not to subject their child to his condition, but Claire insists she doesn't mind. Later, Claire receives a call from a stranded past Henry, yet to undergo surgery. She seizes the opportunity to spend time with him. Days later, Claire acts differently, revealing she's pregnant again. Henry, shocked, learns Claire plans to protect the baby but remains cautious due to past miscarriages. As Claire's pregnancy progresses, Henry remains apprehensive about naming the baby, suggesting they wait. One day, Henry disappears, encountering a girl named Alba who calls him her dad. Excited, Henry learns Alba, their daughter, can also time travel. Alba reveals Henry's future death when she was 5, and though saddened, Henry handles the news well, expressing love for her. Upon return, Henry informs Claire about their daughter's name, Alba explaining he saw her in the future. Claire gives birth, and as Alba grows, she exhibits time-traveling abilities. On Alba's 5th birthday, Henry contemplates his future death. Preparing for Alba's party, Claire witnesses Alba conversing with someone, her future self. Claire realizes Alba's time-traveling abilities, accepting the complexities that come with their unique family dynamic. Alba appears sad upon entering the house, prompting Claire to inquire. Alba dismisses it, but Claire assures her support if needed. During the party, Claire observes Alba talking to Henry, unaware that future Alba has already disclosed Henry's impending death. Claire notices a secretive conversation between Henry and Alba, raising her suspicions. After the party, Claire confronts Alba about her sadness, eventually coaxing her to reveal Henry's fate. Alba discloses Henry's death, leading Claire to question him. Henry, unaware of the details, expresses fear, finding comfort in Claire. The next day, Henry vanishes and returns with a bullet wound and fever, claiming he was pursued and shot. Claire, aware of his vulnerability during time travel, is concerned. Henry, temporarily wheelchair-bound, receives medical attention. On Christmas Eve, Alba, saddened by Henry's wheelchair confinement, urges him to stay. Henry, curious about avoiding disappearance, learns that singing helps Alba. Despite singing together, Henry foresees his death on Christmas Day but conceals it from his family. Christmas morning, Henry calls Gomez, expressing gratitude and cryptically hinting at impending events. Gomez, puzzled, senses something ominous. Claire, observing Gomez's reaction, realizes there might be a problem. Claire intuits that Henry is nearing death without him saying anything. Terrified, she questions Henry about the large number of guests he wanted for an event. Henry explains that he didn't want her to be alone. Months later, Henry vanishes and appears near the meadow close to Claire's family house. Mistaken for a deer, Philip, hunting with a friend, shoots Henry. Returning home, Henry dies in Claire's arms. Years later, Alba plays in the meadow with friends and sees Henry appear. Excited, she runs to him, realizing Claire has continued leaving clothes for him. Alba calls Claire, and they reunite with Henry. Henry and Claire share a heartfelt moment discussing the clothes left for him. Claire knew she'd see him again, but Henry expresses concern about her waiting. Claire, however, is unfazed. As Henry disappears, Claire and Alba embrace, convinced Henry will always be with them.